Well, what do you know? Minnesota is keeping hope alive with a final score of 105-100 as they win Game 4. First off, Dallas is clearly missing Lively, and it's painfully obvious, as he does so many things for this group. Don't get me wrong, Daniel Gafford is killing it, especially defensively. He does a lot of things well for this team, both little things and big things, and his energy has been great for this squad. With that being said, you don't just want a starting center if you're the Mavericks. You want a center rotation, and so Lively and Gafford in combination, substituting in and out for one another, is huge for this group. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns missed a bunch of time in the second half with foul trouble, and I'll touch on that more in a bit. He made a lot of big three-point shots, and that was huge because that helped give space to Anthony Edwards and give him room to operate and do his thing. It gave him another weapon on the perimeter as Cat was making 3 after 3. As usual, Towns also makes a lot of agonizing mistakes, but when he does go to the bench, Naz Reid continues to be a fantastic substitution. In order for them to make this comeback, and it would be a historic comeback, Cat has got to be effective offensively. He's got to keep making these shots. He was effective from 3, but make no mistake, that effectiveness started with him being aggressive at the rim. As he kept attacking and looking to make something happen, then the floor started to open up a bit for him and he was able to knock down some three-point shots. Now it feels like every game we're talking about what Ant is doing defensively. On this night, they decided to put him on Luka, and to me, this matchup makes way more sense. Luka isn't as quick as Kyrie, he isn't as hard to predict as Kyrie, he isn't as hard to defend on the dribble, and he doesn't run all around the court as much either. To put it simply, Edwards can maintain more of his energy from guarding Luka, and it looked like that. Ant looked like the player that he was from the first 2 rounds of the Western Conference playoffs, and not the player he was in the first 3 games of this series. Ant was huge in this game offensively, and I've said it once and I'll say it again, this team goes as Anthony Edwards goes. Sure, efficiency stat nerds are gonna say that he needed 25 shots to score his 29 points. But the truth is, this team feeds off of his aggression, as he opens up the floor with his driving and controls the pace to a tempo that they like. Now let's look at Dallas for a second and just look at the pink elephant in the room. Luka and Kyrie went 13 of 39 from the field. Honestly, the fact that Dallas had their 2 stars shoot that poorly, and with the fact that they didn't have their starting center, they really should be encouraged by the fact that they only lost by 5 points. Let's make this real simple. Dallas won the first 3 games because their stars were clutch down the stretch, and in Game 4, the shots were just off for the most part. Now moving back to Minnesota, Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards were all in foul trouble basically all game long. But I gotta be honest, I didn't hate it. Sure, they made some boneheaded mistakes, but they were down 3-0, so they gotta play desperate. You gotta play with aggressiveness on defense. And if guys like Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson gotta play more minutes because of that defensive pressure, then so be it. They've got the depth to keep things interesting. At the end of the day, this is just the first step in what Minnesota is hoping is a historic comeback. And now they head back to Minnesota for Game 5. At this point, I have no idea who's winning Game 5. Hopefully Lively will be back in the action. But either way, I think it should be a tough and close 5th game. And I'm just glad we're getting more of this series because it's been thrilling to say the least. Again, you gotta just take this one game at a time. But heading back to Minnesota, the Timberwolves got a good chance. And if they win Game 5, all of the pressure is gonna be on Dallas to win in Game 6. I think in that instance, they'll be viewing that game as a must-win. So what do you guys think? Does Minnesota have a chance to win this series? Or is it all just theater at this point? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. I also wanted to do a quick plug. Check out the Johnny Arnett Clips channel. That will be in a link in the description and in the pinned comment. And we will be uploading shorts very often. We've got something like 30 shorts done already. And my editor has just been working tooth and nail to get that done. So we're going to post that over there. So please go and check that out. Very excited to give you guys more short, quick to the point type content, which is kind of very different from what I do over here, which is more focused on like long form content. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.